This video is going to be on Pennsylvania. So Pennsylvania is a state, and it's like the biggest state in kind of the. Well, that's not true. I was going to say it's the biggest state in like the northeastern area, but I can like literally, I'm looking at a map and I can just see that New York is larger, but it's the second largest. And the interesting thing about there's a number of interesting things about Pennsylvania. One is they don't call it a state, they call it a commonwealth. So they say the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. I like the name, but the spelling is kind of weird because it's spelled Pennsylvania. Well, I mean, you can spell it out, but obviously it's not spelled like pencil. But then you think of pencil, and then of course you look at the map and you go, oh, Tennessee kind of looks like a pencil. It would have made more sense if they named Tennessee, if they would have named Tennessee, Pennsylvania, that probably would have made more sense from what the state looks like standpoint. But I think Tennessee is named after Native Americans. I don't recall though. I like that Pennsylvania's biggest city is Philadelphia because it starts with a P, so it's the same. It starts with the same first letter as the state, and I think that's kind of fun. And I think everybody thinks it's fun, whether they admit it or not. Like I think everybody's had that thought where it's like, oh, that's kind of pleasant. That it's like Philadelphia is in Pennsylvania. It's Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Like that it's nice. It looks fitting on like a map. And then so Philadelphia, you got Philadelphia. My particular thoughts on Philadelphia are generally like positive, but I've never been there. They got that show Abbott Elementary is based in Philadelphia, which is obviously, from what I've said, in Pennsylvania. So that's some media that you got there. And then they have that Silver Linings Playbook movie is, I think, based in Philadelphia, but I'm not sure. I just know Bradley Cooper wears Philadelphia Eagles jersey. I haven't seen that. I've just seen like trailer and stuff. I should probably watch that. It's a popular movie. Anyway, another thing about Pennsylvania is it's like a sideways rectangle, but then when people have a picture of the state shape, they like flatten it out because on the map it's at an angle. It's a rectangle kind of shape, but at an angle. And then when people do just a picture of the state outline without the rest of the country, they just put it flat as if they had dropped it, and then it naturally fell into place on its rectangular side, which I think is kind of interesting. What else? I assume it has rural areas. Oh, it actually has, I forgot to say, it has two major cities. And that's also nice because its other major city is also a P. It's got Pittsburgh, which I, again, think is nice. That you have Pittsburgh in... you got Pittsburgh with a P, and it's a major city. I think Philadelphia is bigger than Pittsburgh, but I don't know by how much. Funny enough, I think of Pittsburgh as more of an ethnic place just because their NFL coach is a black man, which I don't know if it actually is more ethnic. In fact, Philadelphia might be more ethnic. From what I've heard about it, as far as just how big cities bring in more diversity usually. Um, yeah, what else is there to say? I guess I've pretty much covered all my thoughts on it. I like the Eagles because of their uniforms, and I like the Eagles because I like Philadelphia for some reason, and I like the Oregon head coach, which I'm a big Oregon fan and I actually go here for college. But the Oregon head coach went to Philadelphia, Chip Kelly, at one point, and he did kind of ass when he was the head coach. But I think that made me kind of root for the Eagles back then. And it made me want the Eagles to draft Marcus Mariota, but then they didn't, which was sad for me. Anyway, and they won the Super Bowl a couple of years ago with Nick Foles, which was interesting because Nick Foles went from like starter, kind of like crappy starter for a while, and then he got like replaced, and then he was a backup, and then he won Super Bowl MVP, which was kind of an interesting story. Um, yeah, I think that's it. Okay, thanks for watching.